Okay, so data is a set of values that can be sorted by variables. So you see the word variables, it's in our title, right? Exploring variables. And data is a set of values that can be sorted by variables. So when you hear the word variable, you're probably thinking of algebra 1, right? Somebody just tell me, what is a variable? A letter. What is that letter for? It represents a number of value, and usually you have to find it, right? Solve for X, solve for T, solve for S. But I want to change that because we're not in algebra 1. For statistics, a variable is not a letter that you solve for. It's an attribute or characteristic, that can be measured. Okay? And so the survey you just took was us exploring those attributes, variables. So the variables we had were your age, your foot size, you have allergies, what superpower you take. Those are the variables we explored, right? And the data is what you answered back to. So your age, 14, 15, 16. Do you have allergies, yes or no? How many pets do you have? How long does it take you? That's the data. But the variables is the characteristics you measure. Okay? So that's, for my visual learners, I'll show you just so we can put a visual to the words. Here's the data from the activity, right? Everything here in the white and gray rows is the data. Right? Everything in the purple are the variables we measured. So again, your birth month, your allergies, yes or no, your foot length, those are the variables. But everything here was the data. Okay? Understood? Alright, now that we have those two definitions, let's move on to types of data and the types that you answered. So we have quantitative data. So that represents numerical values. Okay? Numerical that can be measured or counted. Hopefully you have some prior knowledge of this. Remember quantity, quality, those type of words. Same thing, okay? So we have quantitative, and we have categorical. So this represents characteristics or qualities, qualities that can be sorted into groups or categories. Okay, so this is categorical data. And in the survey, you have both. Okay? So we're going to sort them. Alright, so be prepared to get called on. You're telling me if it is quantitative or categorical. Again, quantitative, think of the word quantity, number, and categorical, think of category, which is like a group or a quality. Alright? Okay, let's see. Period. The first question was, in the survey, what is your age? Is that categorical? Sorry, we're putting it here. Is that categorical or quantitative? Period, random caller, Jasmine. For age. So categorical is more like quality. But age is not quality. Yeah, quantitative. So we're going to put it under this category. Quantitative. Okay. The next one was your height. Your height. Is that categorical or quantitative, Victoria? So height was measured in centimeters. So is that, yeah, quantitative too. Height. Good. Okay. Foot length. Foot length was also measured in centimeters. So what is that? Elizabeth? Good. So, foot length. Okay, next question. Do you have allergies? That was the next question in the survey. Gerardo, what is that? Categorical, yep. Allergies. And I think allergies are really up right now because I ran out of 2 tissue boxes in one day. Alright, what is your birth month? What is that, Diana? Birth month. Quantitative. So if it was like numbers, yes, but I think it was words. Categorical, yeah. Don't be alarmed. There are some of these that can be both, right? If I would have asked for your birth month in number form, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 12, then yeah, it would be quantitative because it's a number. But since I asked it in words, like categories, like months, then it's category. Okay. All right, next one. How do you travel to school? Is that categorical or quantitative, Paul? Good. Travel. Travel method. Okay. And I believe that was bus, car, walk, or bike. Those categories. Okay, and then right after that is how long does it actually take you to get to school? Diana, what is that? Yes. So travel time would be quantitative. Travel time. Okay. Travel time. All right, next question was, how many pets do you have? Joanna, was that categorical or quantitative? Yes. Number of pets, quantitative. Number, not hashtag. Number of pets. Okay. And then the last one was, which superpower would you choose? So I would agree. Yes, categorical superpower. Yeah. Okay. So again, data could be both. How can I make? Let's see. Somebody tell me, how can I make the height data of categorical data? Yes. Yeah. How could I change it to categorical? Instead of number. Like if I was doing a survey and I wanted it to be categorical, how could I have the height question? Right? I could group it. Yeah, if I group the heights, then that would be categorical. What else can I do? Other than grouping, like, yes. Yeah, tall or short. Tall, short, medium, extra short, extra tall. That could have been categories too. Good. What about age? If I didn't put numbers, what words could I use? I could use like infant, toddler, child, preteen, teenager, young adult, adult, elder. Yeah, so again, they could be both. So please keep that in mind. All right. Okay, the next vocab word is distribution. What is a distribution? It's a description of values. So this word, we're going to see it more tomorrow, and the rest of the staff unit is that word distribution. So I just want to show it to you now, okay? It's a description of the values of data, so either categorical or quantitative, either one, and the frequency frequency, frequency of the value. What does frequency mean? Frequency? No. It's in the word, frequent. How often? How many? Yeah. So if I ask the frequency of bus riders, I would count everyone that said they rode the bus, and that would be my frequency. Okay. Alright. So data displays. You already know one because you did it yesterday. What's it called? Box and whisker plot. Yeah. Box plot. Okay. What other data displays do you have prior knowledge of? Bar graph. Good. Pie chart. What else? Dot plot. Thank you. Good. You're thinking of like linear graph? So that's for functions. We are going to see the data as functions, but not yet. You're thinking ahead of it. I'm going to give you the last one only because we're going to look at it tomorrow. It's called the histogram. Okay. And I'll show you what that is today. Alright, please write those down. Box plot, bar graph, pie chart, dot plot, and histogram. We're going to do all of these. Okay. Okay. So now that we have all those displays written down, we're going to talk about which one is better for categorical, which is better for quantitative. So go back to this part. For categorical, bar graphs really help show the frequency, there's that word again, frequency, or count of different categories, okay? So let's draw a little sketch in case you forgot what a bar graph looks like. We have an X and Y axis, and then there's like little bars like this. The thing you want to remember is that they are not touching. Okay? They do not touch. Another good data display for categorical is a pie chart because it's easy to see all the parts and percentages for the categories. Okay, so pie chart, circle, and then you divide it into the parts. Okay, and what should the total circle equal? 101%. How many degrees are in a circle, by the way? 360. But if we're doing data, the categories, all the sections should equal 100%. Okay. All right, are we good with bar graphs and pie charts? Okay, for quantitative, this display is the distribution of numerical data, including mean, quartiles, and outliers. What is it? Box plot. Box and whiskers. Okay, you should be fairly familiar with this now that we did it for like 3 days in a row. Just draw a little sketch of a box plot. Okay. This is very good for quantitative data since it lets us see all those summary statistics like medians and range. Okay, and then this one is a histogram. Okay, histograms show the shape, very important, the shape and the distribution of the data using what kind of bars? Equal width, okay? Also something to note here, which you're about to draw, is that histograms, the bars have to touch. So a lot of students get histograms and bar charts bar graphs confused. But histograms are equal width bars, and they touch like this. Okay, and we're gonna create some tomorrow with our data. Okay, so big difference between histogram and bar graph. We'll also look at the difference tomorrow, so that you know when to do it. Okay. All right, make sure you have those little sketches so you don't forget what it looks like. Okay. Any questions? Somebody asked where do we use dot plots for? You can use dot plots for both categorical and quantitative. And we are going to do dot plots as well. So now let's do this on page 8, please.